Value Stream Mapping, VSM, is defined as a lean tool that employs a flowchart documenting every step in the process. Many lean practitioners see VSM as a fundamental tool to identify waste, reduce process cycle times, and implement process improvement. Thus, today's video is about value stream mapping. Hello everyone. This is George from Invensis Learning. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Let us start our discussion by knowing what value stream mapping is. Then, we shall take a trip into the history of value stream mapping. Then, to understand more about value stream mapping, let us discuss some of its features. Then, we shall move to know the advantages of value stream mapping. Then, we shall see where to use VSM. Next, we shall talk about VSM symbols and understand how to do value stream mapping. Lastly, we shall build a use case for the same and understand it better. Now, without any ado, we shall begin the video. Let us start by understanding the simpler term, value stream mapping. So, what is value stream mapping? Value stream mapping is a method for analyzing the current state and accordingly redesign the future state for the process so that it takes the product from start to finish with minimal waste. In general terms, value stream mapping is defined as one of the lean management tools mainly used to visualize a production process that helps in increasing the value of both product and service by identifying bottlenecks and eliminating waste. Thus, it helps you review the steps within the process that takes the product from beginning to end so that you can discover ways to eliminate defects and make the process as lean as possible. Reducing waste and making your process as lean as possible increases efficiency and productivity while also allowing waste to be more easily identified. Value stream mapping is part of the Six Sigma methodology for going lean. To understand this, you need to be aware of two elements, value-added elements and non-value-added elements. To know about these, you must get to know 8 types of waste elements. The first waste found is defects. Defects may be incomplete or inaccurate products, services, or information. Because of this, products or services fail, and it requires rework, review or retesting. Time and cost resources get wasted due to this. One way to get rid of this is to have clear operating procedures or specifications or try to improve quality assurance steps by utilizing automated systems or any other new technologies. The next one is overproduction. Overproduction means making something, like products earlier or faster than needed or manufacturing more products than what is required. Some of them would be raw materials that are not required, work in progress, or finished goods without having adequate demand in the market. The best way to get rid of this waste would be by reducing large batches, building trusted supplier relationships, using value stream mapping, process mapping, and other good analytical tools. Then, we have waiting. Waiting is that idle time while waiting for materials, equipment, parts, people, or information. Machine downtime, system downtime, slow system response time, waiting on approvals, waiting for material from vendors or for information from customers are all included under this type of wastes. The solutions that could help them to remove this waste would be to utilize planning and scheduling solutions for better timing, upgrade systems to present trends. Use CRM and ERP software for streamlined flow of data and better communication. Next in the list, we have non-utilized talent. Non-utilized talent is the experience, skills, knowledge, or creativity of your team that is not used to the full extent, like the employees not listening to team members' improvement suggestions, or not recognizing employee contributions, strengths, and talents. To eliminate this, encourage employee suggestions, provide cross-training, form worker teams to solve problems, encourage employees to take ownership of their processes that can promote involvement. The next type of waste is transportation excess. Transportation excess is the unnecessary movement of products, equipment, or materials that have been manufactured excessively. The main reason for this is poor layouts that require extra forklift movement, or maybe the multiple storage locations cause excess transportation of materials. One method to eliminate this waste is by reducing distances items must travel, and addressing space issues by using process maps. The next one is inventory excess. Inventory excess is the over-accumulation of stock beyond what is necessary to serve the customer. Some of the examples of this type of waste include stock and work in a process that exceeds what is necessary for just-in-time or excess inventory buildup. One better way is to utilize an inventory management system for better coordination, planning, and reduction of inventory, set purchasing rules, use FIFO to reduce obsolescence. Next in the list, we have motion excess. Any movement by the team that is not of value to the customer is called motion excess. Repetitive keystrokes, extra walking, sorting, stacking, searching creates inefficiency are all included here. Sources of eliminating this would be to eliminate double data entry by integrating systems, reduce extra motions that lengthen the duration of the task. The last type of waste is found to be excess processing. Any additional steps in a process that do not add value to the customer are called excess processing. Examples for this type of waste would be reformatting, adding extra unneeded features, continuing to do something of low value because it's always been done that way, etc. So, to get rid of this waste, identify what is needed and why, automate, generate and send reports directly out of the system rather than recreating as spreadsheets, remove extra steps that add no value. Any process that includes these waste elements is a non-valued process. These won't satisfy any customers, but the manufacturing industry includes this. Similarly, those aspects which customers like to buy based on quality, time, and price become value-added elements. A stream is formed including these value-added elements from design to delivery. Then, this stream creates value for the customer. Mapping this stream of value is called value stream mapping. History of value stream mapping. In the beginning stages, value stream mapping was considered a minor tool in Toyota. It has been around for quite a while even though it's only recently being adopted by many of them. As the lean principles got popular in the manufacturing industries of America, so did value stream mapping. It also got spread across other industries like software, IT operations, and even marketing. The book named The Machine That Changed the World in the year 1990, written by James Womack, Daniel Jones, and Daniel Ruse, first introduced the term value stream. The methodology was then popularized by the same authors through the book Lean Thinking. They mentioned that the value stream was the sequence of activities an organization undertakes to deliver on a customer request. The invention of value stream mapping is attributed to Toyota Motor Corporation. Toyota's success and use of lean manufacturing practices helped promote value stream mapping as a modern best practice for high-efficiency business teams during the 1990s. The modern Western view of value stream mapping almost took on a life on its own, and in the Western world, VSM nowadays features much more prominently than the authors ever imagined, and sometimes even more than they wanted. After getting to know the history of value stream mapping, let us get to know the features of them. Features of value stream mapping. VSM is one of the tremendous tools that help to determine how to improve delivery chains that include complex processes. If you are working on a complex process, then VSM can help you to create one of them with a comprehensive view and understanding of the entire process. Thus, its features are amazing. Now let us see some of them. Value stream mapping is a powerful visual planning tool that identifies the areas of improvement and finds a way to improve them. Also, it tries to improve the efficiency and performance of the system. Upon that, one can use this value stream mapping to track the actual system, and find ways to make your processes even more efficient. In addition to that, it also identifies and eliminates lean wastes. VSM represents a top-down overview of your business processes, and also is a visual representation of all the value-added elements. Now that you are aware of the features of VSM, let us take a look at their benefits. Advantages of value stream mapping. Value stream mapping is one of the lean techniques that is used in many industries and businesses. The main purpose is to view the entirety of a process flow from start to finish and create a plan to optimize efforts in getting the company to its desired outcomes. By illustrating the current state, a value stream map allows you to know where there are current gaps. Once you establish inefficient or undesirable activities, you can identify opportunities in a future state map and develop an implementation plan to achieve your goals. Some of the main reasons for using value stream mapping are: eliminating waste to improve the company is the bottom line for value stream mapping. By using a value stream map, one can visualize how end-to-end operations work in every process. Value stream mapping is a quick and easy-to-learn tool. It identifies non-value-added elements that are termed waste. Value stream mapping also improves cross-functional collaboration and improves the end product quality. It then helps to find bottlenecks and waste within the process. VSM is an inexpensive tool and can be easily critiqued by your workforce. Also, VSM is not just used in manufacturing but can be applied for offices, service industries, healthcare, etc. Value stream map just not gives an idea on lean project management by identifying the current state of affairs. But, it also helps in mapping the current state by visualizing an ideal state of operations in project management, giving everyone in the organization a tangible goal to work towards. Thus, VSM is a workplace efficiency tool designed to combine material processing steps with information flow, along with other important related data. VSM is an essential lean tool for an organization wanting to plan, implement, and improve while on its lean journey. VSM helps users create a solid implementation plan that will maximize their available resources and help ensure that materials and time are used efficiently. After understanding the advantages of VSM, let us now see where all it can be used. Where to use value stream mapping. Value stream mapping is usually associated with lean manufacturing, but as already discussed, this methodology is used in various fields, including service-related industries, administrative and office processes, and software development. The value stream map is usually used to represent the process flow or the material flow graphically. This is done to understand each process properly and make sure that it's performing accordingly. But, let us now see when and where should we use value stream mapping. When you should draw a value stream map? A value stream map is a flow diagram of the material and information flow. It then helps you visualize and understand the material and information flow. This can be done for both the current state and also for the future desired state. As such, value stream maps can help you with understanding the flow of information and material. It can help you to see problems and inconsistencies. Common issues where value stream mapping is often used would be: firstly, we have, while designing a new manufacturing line, where you need to create a process flow as a part of the process. Here, you can make use of value stream mapping. Next, we have, for improving the system. Sometimes, the flow of material will not yield the result which the company was looking for. Also sometimes, information about an existing line in a flow shop is not that proper. In those cases, value stream mapping can be used. At last, we can use value stream mapping to reduce unevenness, mora, in the material and information flow of flow shops. Similarly, value stream mapping can be used anywhere where the process has to get updated or reduce the defects, or many other places. But, please keep in mind that depending on the exact problem you try to solve, the maps can look differently. Now that you know where VSM is used, let us learn the various VSM symbols. VSM symbols. As already told, value stream mapping is a graphical representation tool. Thus, it uses many symbols and connections to represent the same. It shows the flow of information and inventory within a system and streamlines those processes. By using these, creating a map becomes very easy and is more representable. These maps help to visualize and represent the steps involved in producing and delivering products and services to clients in lean manufacturing. And this can be valuable for any business. There is a common set of symbols used in value stream mapping. However, VSM symbols are not standardized. It's possible to modify or create symbols to match the requirements of your organization if you think that some symbols are not adequate for describing the system you're mapping, or if you may need special symbols to represent some aspects of a process. Now let us see some of the commonly used VSM symbols. But before that, to make you guys understand easily, I have categorized these symbols into many. The first category of symbols is process symbols. Here, we use all those symbols that are used to represent the process flow or what you call a process diagram. First, in the list, we have the customer and supplier. Both these terms are represented through the same diagram. So, how to differentiate between them? Usually, both these are represented at the edge of any process and on the top. If the symbol is at the leftmost side, then it is known to be a supplier, and if the symbol is at the rightmost side, it is a customer who is willing to buy it. Next, we have the process box. Here, the process takes place, and the name of the process is written on the top. This is also called a dedicated process box. Then, we have a shared process. This icon represents a process operation, department, or work center that other value stream families share. Then, we have the data box. This is a simple table where the relevant information is written related to the process box is stored. Next, the last symbol for this category is cellular manufacturing. This is an important part of VSM and lean operations. The work cell symbol indicates that multiple processes are integrated with a manufacturing work cell. The next category is material symbols. First on the list we have inventory. These icons show inventory between two processes. It is a simple triangle where the inventory expressed in pieces is noted on the VSM between the process boxes. Next, we have a push arrow. This icon represents the pushing of material from the present process to the next process. Next, we have shipments. Shipments are those vehicles that ship from suppliers or to customers using external transport. Then, we have FIFO lane. First in first out inventory. Use this icon when processes are connected with a FIFO system that limits input. Last, in this category, we have supermarket. Like a supermarket, a small inventory is available and one or more downstream customers come to the supermarket to pick out what they need. The upstream work center then replenishes stocks as required. The next category is information symbols. These symbols are used to represent the information. First, in this category, we have mutual information flow. This is a straight, thin arrow. It shows the general flow of information from memos, reports, or conversations. Next, we have electronic information flow. It is represented with a broken arrow that indicates electronic information flow between processes. Then, we have the Kanban post. It is a place where Kanban cards are collected and held for conveyance. Next, we have Go-See scheduling. This is used for gathering information through visual means. The process requires a schedule adjustment or confirmation by an operator. Then we have production control. It is nothing but a centralized production scheduling or control department. It is usually represented by this simple box symbol. Then, we have load leveling. This tool batches Kanbans in order to level out the variety and volume of production. Then, we have material requirements planning. Scheduling using an inventory control system is done through this. Lastly, we have verbal information, which represents information flow that is passed verbally. The last category is general symbols. These are used for general connections. The first symbol in this category is Kaizen burst. These icons are used to highlight improvement needs and plan Kaizen workshops at specific processes. They are critical to achieving the future state map of the value stream. Next, we have operator. It is used to represent how many operators are needed to process the VSM family at a particular workstation. Then, we have a timeline. It is placed at the bottom and shows both waiting times and processing times. This can be used to calculate lead time and total cycle time in the VSM. Lastly, we have other information. Here different information is written. We have many other symbols too. But we have just discussed the most used and the general ones. Now that you are aware of most of the VSM symbols, let us see how to create a value stream mapping. How to do value stream mapping? A value stream map is discussed as a flowchart that illustrates and analyzes the steps involved in producing a product and delivering a service. Once mapping the current state of the process from start to end is done, then finding areas that do not add value to the process can be easily detected, and reducing those areas can be done. So, let us now look into those steps to create a value stream map. A value stream map is easier to evaluate the current state of a production process to identify what is working and what issues are causing inefficiency. Once a current state map has been completely analyzed, future and ideal state maps can be created to improve the organization. Let us now break down the steps to understand easily. The first step is identify the scope of your VSM. So first identify your starting and ending points. In general, every work starts from suppliers and ends to customers. This should be placed on the top. As already told, place suppliers to the leftmost edge and place customers to the right side. This is because, if you cover the entire supply chain, you will normally start with the raw materials, that is the suppliers, and end with the customer. Now, next to the customer, record your talk time. This is the maximum span of time you can spend while still satisfying customer demand. It is easy to calculate this number. Just take the available minutes for production and then divide it by the required units of production. Now it's time to map the steps of your process. So, now it's time to use all those symbols which I mentioned as process symbols. First, start by adding process boxes. Initially, use the dedicated process shape to show all the steps involved. In the corner of each process box, a small circle indicates how many operators complete this step in the process. Beside each process box, add a data box. The information present in this box helps you to an analysis. So, what does these data box includes? It may include information like cycle time, which is the time required to complete that one process. Changeover time is the time required to switch a process to another. Uptime. This is the percentage of time that the machine is running. Next, yield is the percentage of parts that pass inspection. In simple words, it's called efficiency. Along with this, it also includes mutual cycle time, queue time, lead time, available time, etc. Once the mapping is done, now it is time to add inventory and wait times. But before that, connect each process boxes and connect your start to the endpoints. By this, you can get to know the process flow. Then add transport to represent the shipments. Next, use the push arrows to represent material pushed from one process to the next. After all these, now in between each stage, use an inventory triangle to mark the number of parts you have in work in progress. Represent this at the end of each process. After all these steps, then mark the direction of information flows. As already told, value stream maps not only represent the production process but also display the flow of information throughout that process. Add a production control box to represent the people scheduling and controlling production. At the bottom of that box, you can add this group's responsibilities. After placing everything in the proper place, now it is time to connect them. Jagged lines show electronic communication, such as email, phone, or fax. You can add notes about the type of data exchanged, the frequency of this exchange, or the media used. Straight lines show manual communication, such as memos, printed reports, or in-person conversations. Now it's time to create a timeline. Now one must create a timeline. Mention this at the bottom of the value stream map. The timeline has two levels. On the bottom, write down the times for value-added processes, taken from the data boxes above. And, on top, write down the times for non-value-added processes. Now, calculate the time accurately and monitor efficiency. And after calculating, there comes an end to the process. After competing, it's time to put it into action. Check that process if it's taking a huge time or if it has more non-value elements. Then, cut waste and track efficiency. Then, alternate the process and map accordingly where you can find the least wastes. In simpler, it means, updates your VSM as needed so it accurately reflects your current processes. Guys, now that you have understood the steps to create a value stream mapping. To make you understand even better, let us take an example. Use case in value stream mapping. Consider a pizza maker shop. So, let's use value stream mapping and understand it better. Firstly, there are two main categories to know. The first one is customers who want to buy the pizzas. Then, we have suppliers who actually supply the required items. Then, we must add process steps. In our case, these processes include adding topping and mixed herbs to the pizza base, then baking, then parceling it, and the last process is shipping. In the corner of each process box, a small circle indicates how many operators complete this step in the process. As already mentioned, this process box includes all the data. Now connect your start/endpoints and process boxes with arrows to show the entire process flow. The thick solid lines represent shipments. In this case, the supplier ships raw materials to the factory, and then the factory ships the finished sandwiches out to customers. The dotted arrows, also called push arrows, represent material pushed from one process to the next. Now, in between each process stage, add inventory to mark the number of parts you have in work in progress at the end of each step. Also, include shipments. After this, add a production control box to represent the scheduling and controlling production. You can add this group's responsibilities in the same process box. Then add communication lines. In our example, we receive orders from the customer on a daily basis and sends weekly forecasts to the supplier electronically, but they give daily schedules to the production staff in person. In the end, you should create a timeline at the bottom of your value stream map. As value stream maps mainly aim at detecting waste in a process, the timeline is perhaps the most essential piece. At the bottom of the deadline, write down the times for value-added processes taken from the data boxes above. Similarly, on top of that deadline, write down the times for non-value-added processes. Then use appropriate formulas and calculate efficiency in other terms. And then accordingly alternate your process. Here, we come to an end. By this, you guys would have understood that value stream mapping, also known as material and information flow mapping, is one of the best lean management methods used for analyzing the current state and designing a future state for the series of events that take a product or service from the beginning of the specific process until it reaches the customer. After understanding the importance of the value stream mapping, now is time to get a certification and upskill yourself. We can help. At Invensis Learning, we provide live online value stream mapping certification training course. Visit the Invensis Learning website to know more about this.